Good evening. It's Moments of Magic time. This week, um, my feeling was is that both Jean and I had some like almost small personal moments of magic, which you had to sort of like pay attention in order to realize them or to notice them. And so I thought, well, we'll let Jean's are more personally available than mine, so we'll let Jean start with hers.
Hi. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the full moon. Happy full moon in Aries. It's a pretty powerful full moon this week, so I wanted to just say a little bit about it and talk a little bit about fire and the energy of fire. Hey, Bonnie. And so this full moon, the energy of it is really about motion and about moving forward and about really either moving things in or moving things out or both. So it's a good time for both of those things. So there's a few ways that you can move things, and I my favorite way of moving energy, aside from just dancing and actually moving, is rattle, noise, or drumming moves energy in a beautiful way. Any kind of sound, but I like heavy duty sound is really good for movement. Um, and also your breath, just breathing fully into deep into your gut is going to move a lot of energy in or out. And if you do it with intention, you're going to get a lot moved. And then if you are moving things outward, you'll have with your breath, you can like direct them inward again. Um, and also, since it is a fiery full moon, my go-to stones are not fiery stones in fiery energy. What I like are cooling stones or stones that bring in a more balance, stones that represent water, for instance, or stones that feel cool to you. So my favorite, I got a couple of my favorites here. This one is hemimorphite. Whenever I have a bunch of heat within a person that I'm working on, this is an awesome stone to just lay all over their body. It cools everything down, it balances fire with water, and it's a really good balancer. Another one is chrysocolla. Some people might not agree with that. Hey, Emmy. But I think this is a good one for like muscle release, moving muscle energy, moving things out of your muscles. This one works particularly well with that. And if you have one with kind of a point, even better. And the other thing that's obvious really is fluorite, which is natural anti-inflammatory, but it also, when you put it on your body, it creates cool or even cold sometimes. So this counteracts that for fiery Aries energy. And it's also a really good stone to use for pain because it does act as an anti-inflammatory. So those are three stones that I like to use in fiery energy, like this full moon. So my moment of magic has absolutely nothing to do with stones, except that I was sitting at my altar, which is filled with stones. But I was sitting there this morning and I was feeling all this very loving energy. And it occurred to me that my mother passed 7 years ago today. And it was such a sort of a bittersweet thing. I could feel the loss of her, and also I could feel that the love has not been lost. And so what happened was I actually glanced down at it, and these are her wedding rings. She had tiny, tiny fingers, and they were almost like they sparked out. That's the only way I can describe it. And so I I put them on just because they do remind me of that unconditional love that I was lucky enough to have in my own mother. Hey, Bailey. And I feel like that's what doesn't die. When someone close to you dies, that lives on within you, and it lives on all around you, and it was really just a beautiful feeling. While I do miss her physical presence, she gave me so much that I could carry with me my whole life. So, thank you, Mom, upstairs or wherever you are, out in the ethers. So that's my moment of magic. It was a small personal moment, but it was really sweet. And
And my personal moment of magic was a little bit like Jean's, actually. Jean and I have a tendency to have like these really interesting and deep discussions early in the morning, just before dawn, or maybe a little earlier than that sometimes too early. And usually they involve a whole lot of me talking ad nauseum, I guess, sometimes. And, you know, uh, sort of holding forth in a I don't know, a declarative sort of way. But the difference this morning is that for whatever reason, it was Jean's turn, and it was, it was elucidating, it was illuminative, it was a really interesting moment of magic for me to hear Jean sort of let loose and set forth with a lot of really interesting observations and pieces of information that almost sounds like she's been like working on them for quite some time. And so it was really quite magical. And I might not even have noticed it, except that I'm working a little bit on the practice of actually trying to notice moments of magic, these little moments that actually kind of happen that make life a little bit more worth getting up in the morning for, I think is a good way to put it. And so that was my moment of magic. And my takeaway from that is to remind everybody to actually watch for these from time to time. Take moments of magic on as a practice.
yes, it's been interesting since we've started this. It's been almost a year, and it feels like we're noticing a lot more, or for me anyway. And so it's been an interesting practice, and we hope to continue it. So that's our moment of magic for tonight. Uh, be sure to tune in. I was indisposed this last Monday, so our live sale is on Stones of Resistance, which probably is why I got sick. I don't know. Um, it will be on Monday evening, the 21st at 7 p.m. Central Time. So we hope to see some of you there, and thank you again for tuning in. And we love you all, and we will see you next Wednesday.
Happy practicing.